sure we're all in the right places, guys.
Which we should have done, but alas.
Well, we don't know till we go live whether
Yeah.
we're broadcasting there or not.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it's a Facebook thing. So maybe they'll catch up. So anyway, look, I see some people rolling in. As you guys are rolling in, make sure you share the stream. Make sure you subscribe if you're on our YouTube. Make sure you hit the notification bell so you'll know when we go live next. And we have an announcement to make. I guess we actually talked about this on probably a couple streams ago that we were closing our contests, right? So our contest is officially closed. We're gonna go start looking at the posts and see who got the right answer, right? And Emma, and then I guess we'll be picking what we announce it on the next show before we send it out. The person who won.
Yeah, we can do. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
On the show.
Yeah, we'll announce it on the show. And that's pretty cool because I don't have my mug in front of me, but I will have my mug. Do you have yours? Let's see. Yes. And you can get it totally customized.
Except for the lipstick stain.
Yeah.
Hey, you might get more money for that, Molly.
Right. Woo! Right. Maybe you should keep the lipstick on. Some people might like, no. You know how that go. You don't want no weirdos following you. Okay, now it just now showed up. Great.
Yeah, I just wanted to say.
Hi, Linda.
Hi, Linda. Hi, everyone.
Hello, Linda. Thanks for joining us. And all the other people that I see you lurking in the bushes there.
Hi, Abby.
Hi, Abby.
That's my niece.
That's your niece, right? Oh, here, let me get this one. Hello.
Hi.
I see people commenting. I see people just lurking. That's okay. You can lurk too.
Happy birthday in 2 days, Abby.
Oh, that's right. Happy birthday. Is this a big birthday? Well, they're always big birthdays at that age.
God, what is she, 12, 13 now? 12, I think. It's going too fast. I can't keep up.
Well, guys, we are going to put our link to our merch. I keep saying we're going to do that, and I never do. But we're going to put a link to our merch. I'm going to actually go out on the stream and out on Etsy, right? I'm sorry, not the stream, Etsy. And put the link there and make sure that you put in the Glass Table merch. 100% of your donations, you get a classy mug or a t-shirt or whatever it is that you decide to order, but 100% of what you buy from us, it goes 100% to our activism and for the cost for streaming our platform. We recently just launched our Patreon, which is pretty cool. We're working on the tiers and pricing there. We're kind of discussing that, but make sure you look out for that. The Patreon link should actually be on this stream. If it's not, I'll make sure I put it link below.
For now, because that's the smallest, like I set up the smallest amount that Patreon allowed. That was $5 a month. So.
Hi, Andrew. Hello, Angela is joining us again, and she's joining us from Australia, which is I know it's pretty late there for you. Thanks for joining us. We're trying to get it our time where is it all Barton? Trying to get it where we can get our Australian people too. But I just wanted to let you know that our Patreon is not just you just donating to our activism. Our activism shows will always be absolutely free of charge and be public for everyone to see. But in there, we get to talk about a little bit more different things because it's a chat function there. You get a little bit up close and personal with us. Also, we don't have the limitations of Facebook or YouTube where you get censored a lot. So there
are a few functions of Patreon. So you can share written, like text, like blogs, creative writing, recipes, which we plan to do. You can go live. You can share videos. You can share pictures, which is cool. So that's what we plan to do: share makeup stuff, recipes, our own art, R-rated stuff.
Speaking of which, we are actually I'm gonna plug that right now. Our first episode, we're working on our first episode next Wednesday. We haven't decided whether or not it's going to be recorded or live. I think that's something we are discussing. But it will be available for replay in our Patreon. We know that for sure. But that's one of our first episodes. It's the table topic. It's our rated R glass table topic, and it's called Sex in the Watchtower. So we're going to talk about the Watchtower, their view on sex, but we're going to also talk about what we think about sex after leaving the Watchtower. So that should be interesting. And next
Hi,
week,
Libby, close your ears. my youngest niece is in here now, so close your ears.
oh yeah, yes, that's
Hello.
right. That's why that episode is going to be in a different section. Close your ears, Abby. Close your ears. All together. So next week our topic is about toxicity, and we're going to talk about what that actually means and whether or not some YouTubers, some activists in and out of the extra Jehovah's Witness world could be classified as toxic, and talk about the cancel culture, whether or not it exists, whether it works. So we're actually going to talk a little bit about clout chasing activism today, which is in addition to some of the videos about our YouTubers today. And we decided to have a panel guest on to help us with that today. You guys have seen him before. Matt!
Everybody.
I love doing that. I like introducing you on boom, man, like that. I don't know. It's the perk of being on this side. Anyway, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate
Not
it.
only is he our panel guest, but he is also one of our picks for favorite YouTuber. So we're gonna get to see some of his clips. Angela said it is 3:10 a.m. in the morning. She is such a trooper.
Wow.
And she's always on our streams. So
Where is she?
in Australia.
Oh, down under. Nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome.
So okay, so let's get into our where should we start, y'all? I'm thinking since we just brought Matt in, we should get Matt talk about his videos. I'm gonna pick the clips that I love. Of course I picked the clips I love instead of allowing you to do it. I probably should have let you do it, Matt.
No. I like being surprised.
But okay, so this one is pretty cool because this video, you're wearing a suit, and I thought you came from the Kingdom Hall, but we'll see that's not the case. So here we go.
He mentioned scriptures. I went to a funeral today. A close friend of mine who I've known from way back since junior high school and I happen to work with, his mother passed away. And so I went to the funeral today. And it was very interesting. And that's why I wanted to make this video today. I hadn't planned on making it, but it got my creative juices flowing, I guess you could say. It got my mind thinking about Jehovah's Witnesses and funerals.
So could you tell us a little bit about why what got your creative juices flowing? Because that's what you said here.
Yeah. So first of all, shout out to the Pioneer School pictures in the back. That was actually before my family moved, so I still had all my Jehovah's Witness stuff up on the wall.
Wow.
But so I went to a funeral that day. A friend of mine, his mother passed away, so I went to the funeral, and that was the first funeral I went to after leaving the organization. And it was just interesting seeing the dynamics of the funeral, how the service went, how people were invited to share stories and experiences. And, it was so different from a Jehovah's Witness funeral. And one of the things I mentioned in the video, I contrasted that with my mother's funeral. And, it was held in the traditional Jehovah's Witness way. And it didn't really give honor to her life, in my opinion. And that's, that was really why I wanted to make that video, to show how stale and how honestly disrespectful I consider Jehovah's Witness funerals, and to show how in, the world, or Babylon the Great, whatever they call it, it's so much more respectful to the life of the deceased.
You talk a little bit about the talk here.
I went to a funeral today.
Not this one.
He mentioned scriptures. They sang songs. But the overwhelming thing that you noticed was that the focus was totally on his mother. Now, the pastor mentioned a couple scriptures and, of course, brought it back to being with God and things of that sort. But ultimately, even the pastor, even though he was preaching, trying to use the Bible as a way to comfort.
Okay, so I thought this was outstanding because I had that same experience. My husband's grandfather passed away, and it was the first and only funeral that I had been to after leaving the Jehovah's Witnesses. And yeah, it was a stark contrast. It wasn't like a sales pitch for the church, like come to the church. Whereas it just blew my mind that they focused on the individual in their life as opposed to the church or whereas the witnesses, they even offer you literature after the services and stuff like that. So yeah, and I thought that video was pretty good, cool. And then there was another video that you had, but I'm going to encourage everybody to actually go to your channel. We're
Yes,
not going to
please.
sit here and just watch all the videos here. Y'all have to subscribe. It's the Irregular Pioneer. Well, how did you come up with that name?
So I had written down maybe 5 or 10 different names. I wanted it to be something that was like a play on words.
Yeah.
And I was like, a regular pioneer. That's very simple, easy to remember. So I went with that one.
Yeah. You can also find him on Instagram too.
Yes.
So that's pretty cool with the memes and stuff.
I just recently changed my YouTube name because I want my full like my surname to be out of public as much as possible. So I changed it, and I wanted to play on the word apostate because and because I'm asexual, and for asexuals the abbreviation is ACE. My channel name is now Apostates.
I love it.
I like that. I like that.
I have to I stopped calling you Molly in the comments. I'm outing you. I'm like, I just realized as you was talking today why you got the channel, and you just did a recent video, and I'm all, Molly, you're doing such a great job. I just really just da 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 da.
Cool. I mean, Molly is fine because it's not my legal name, but my surname.
Your government name. Yeah, you don't want everybody knowing your whole name.
Out of public as much as possible, and if anyone, like from YouTube finds my Facebook for some reason, don't.
Right.
Don't. If you have something to say about, my YouTube video, keep it to YouTube, because I had a message from like a random Christian guy, and it was weird because I was on YouTube debating a random Christian guy under one of my videos, and then I got an inbox from a random Christian guy on Facebook, and I'm like, oh hell no, you ain't about to jump in my inbox from YouTube, sir. Nah.
Oh, I think I remember that.
I was like, whoa, what?
Have you got crazy comments?
Yeah,
you met.
Yeah, all the time. The first video I posted, it's like up to 200 something thousand views.
Wow.
So I have thousands of comments of people just pushing their God on me, and most of them I just ignore, but every once in a while I just like to clap back, leave a little something for them.
Right. Have you had Jehovah's Witnesses yet?
Oh yeah, plenty.
Okay. Yeah.
Including people that I knew when I was in the organization.
No, that has to be something.
Oh yeah, it's hilarious.
Okay, but you don't get the reverse, because I remember not the reverse secondhand embarrassment, because I used to get embarrassed when I would run into like classmates and stuff out in service. I mean, does it feel like that running into them?
No, not for me. I actually I love it. Like when I see witnesses, it's like it gives me power almost. Like, oh man, y'all are so afraid of me. Like there's a supervisor at my job who I knew when I was in, and when he sees me, sometimes he literally runs away. And it's like, to have that much power over this guy, like I'm living in his head rent free. Like,
right.
Doesn't bother me at all. I love it.
So that, I mean, because you're using, for a long time, like my old channel, I and most people still do, do totally I can't talk audio like we just did audio, like we didn't show our faces.
Yes,
Obviously
I
my name
remember
is
that.
not Spencer Tyler. I know people think this is not my real name. But so I use a moniker too for a pen name. But for a lot of us, if you're watching us and you don't know, a lot of ex Jehovah Witness YouTubers use aliases for lots of different reasons. Not just because it's the cool thing to do. Even though irregular pioneer is cool, I wish I would have thought of that. But we do it because we have to for anonymity. Is that the word?
Anonymity. You got it.
Yeah, and also about that, it's something that now Jimmy Snow, I'm not Mr. Atheist anymore, but Jimmy Snow. I have to get
Right.
used to that because I'm so used to like calling him Mr. Atheist, but it's Jimmy Snow. So anyway, he actually mentioned this about a year ago on his channel that Jimmy Snow is not my legal name, and I don't want anyone to know my legal name because I actually almost got fired for being openly atheist like I am on YouTube. And I was like, whoa, what the hell? So he's like, he's a was a photographer, and yeah, I want my legal name off of my activism because I have a job, and I don't want my employer snooping around my social media and looking at my activism because, you know, I just want my work and my activism to be separate, and I don't want my employer snooping around my activism and, all
I
that
think
stuff.
for me, we didn't. My husband is still his a PMO. So I mean, his publisher card is literally at his father's hall, where his father is the coordinator body of elders.
Wow.
So for us to show our face or to be openly apostate, you know what that would mean. There's no way in the world. And plus, we live in a very Detroit is big, but it's kind of small in the extra Jehovah Witness community. There would be no way. Nowadays, he feels more, and I feel more in a position where we can actually do that, and we don't mind people knowing our real names now. But we had to grow to that point.
Right.
We knew we had something we wanted to say. We knew we wanted to help people, but at the same time, we want to protect our family and our children.
Yeah.
So I'm
And
glad.
I totally get that because
Yeah.
like, a lot of people they leave and they're like inactive, and so they're not officially disfellowshipped or disassociated. So they have to protect their identity. And I totally get that. But like for me and my wife, we were disassociated. So I had no issue at all using my name, showing my face. Like Spence, you're a Star Wars fan, so you would understand this. And in a lot of ways, I was like the Anakin Skywalker from where I was from. Like I was like the chosen one. I
Okay.
was the good kid. I was the golden child. I was like they were literally training me to be the coordinator of the congregation when I was
But now
leaving.
you're Vader.
Yeah, now I'm Vader, which Vader's my favorite character, so I love it.
Me too. Oh my god, I'm always down for the
Yeah,
villain.
yeah, Sith gang all the way. But
Yeah.
yeah, so and like that clip, like when Obi-Wan Kenobi is talking to Anakin and
Oh,
he's like, "You were the chosen one." That
yeah.
I was talking to my wife about that. That was like literally almost what it was like when I was talking to the coordinator of the congregation. I told him like we're done. It was literally almost like that because it's like, wow, like you were the chosen one. So for me, it's like, hey, I have no problem showing my face. I want you to know it's me. I want people to see that it's me and recognize that if I was the golden child and I was so devoted, there has to be good reason why I left.
And that's a powerful, powerful, as church folks would say, testimony or
Mm-hmm.
witness or whatever you would call it to other
Right.
people. A powerful example to other people because other people, and that's one of the reasons why I started to show my face because, I mean, I can't steal Anakin. Who can I be now? I'm just joking. But it was kind of like, in my hood, I guess I was kind of, supposed to be the first girl going to Bethel. I pioneered young. I got baptized really young. So in their eyes, that means, she really on the right track. And plus I was snitching on other Jehovah's Witnesses around so of course that put me like way up here.
Oh, you are informant.
I was an informant on other Jehovah's Witness kids. So I mean, in their eyes, and I guess that would make me sort of the golden child in my hood. But at the same time, it was a lot of pressure. I mean, because I couldn't be a kid, and a lot of that pressure I put on myself, and a lot of that was from the organization. But at some point, I started to feel this like you felt, like I wanted people to know it was me, because when now in reverse, they used to say, "Oh, Shannon, blah 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 blah. I saw you at the assembly, blah blah blah." Now it's like I used to get looks like, "Oh, they pitted me a little bit because I was disfellowship." But now that they know that I'm openly apostate, it's almost a different kind of level of respect that I get, whether they say it or not. You know what I'm saying? They might be scared or whatever, but they have to respect that you stand up for yourself.
Right.
At least that's what I've been getting. Even aside from the people that run away from you and can't act like you got a plague because whatever. But Matt, you got a few people commenting here. Nigel says his brother's 2014 funeral at his local crematorium was beautiful, even though it was a JW funeral. But it was his memorial 2 days later. That was the culty sales meeting.
Yeah,
people have to actually go to a Jehovah's Witness funeral to experience, because I think they've experienced all the other types, but you haven't experienced a Jehovah's Witness funeral.
That's why the video that you posted, that you played the clips from, I titled it Jehovah's Witness Funerals Watchtower Infomercials, because it's a commercial. It's literally like, okay, yeah, this person died, they're dead, gone, bye. Join our cult. Like, it's that simple, and it's like, wow, can you show them a little respect, please?
Yeah.
Me and my sister went to one a few years ago because my sister left the religion like 14 years after me, and it was someone that we grew up with. So I went with her, and it was full of people that we grew up with, and we sat at the back, and I was just looking around, like they all looked like robots to start with. Like they were all the same, moving the same, acting the same. And listening to the whole talk that they gave, it was hardly about the person at all. And when we left, my sister was like, "Did you notice?" They kept saying, "Because the resurrection, that's what we believe. Because that's what we believe." Like as if like they were just going over and over and just like drumming it into you. It was just like so robotic. And I literally said I felt like I needed a wash when I came out, because I felt like, like it was weird. Yeah, and yeah, we vowed we would never go to another JW funeral after that.
You don't realize how weird it is until you leave and come back. Like you like, I used to sit there, I used to do that. I'm looking at some of the comments here. Andrew is saying, with me, they refuse to disfellowship him. Amy Marie, I'm not gonna flash it's across the screen. Let me see if I can. You say you drop your last name because your family told you it brought shame to your father's name. You did it because it no longer represented who your father was when he was alive, and no longer held value to me. He believed in family first, even as an elder. Wow, Amy. See, these are some. If you're some of our audience are not always Jehovah's Witnesses, so this is some of the things that we endure just because we've left. Diary of an Awkward XJ Mom says, "Yeah, I have been to both as a Jehovah's Witness. It's like night and day." They are. They truly are. So, before we're gonna move on to more clips that we have of our favorite YouTubers. This is our panel's fake pick. Victoria, am I saying her last name right? Glasgow. Glasgow. I can't say it. I'm tongue tied.
We say it here as Glasgow, so we kind of miss one of the hours out. Yeah, Glasgow.
Okay, that's like a tongue twister for me. Victoria, but I know you, honey, and I love you. She's a panel pick, and this particular video, the next clip that we're gonna show is of a Zoom memorial, a parody that she did, and this got like 14,000 hits. Here it is.
Thank you.
Oh,
When I first saw it, I was like, at first I was like, this is not the real one. I was like, oh, people do parodies, extra Jehovah's Witness YouTubers. I'm used to the extra Jehovah's YouTube world. Haven't saw many parodies, so I thought that was really awesome. But I can't let this go without the song though. Let me see if I can bring up the song.
The governing body, the governing body, the governing body in whom we trust. The governing body, the governing body, you're our faithful, discreet slave.
I'm sorry, that cracks me up every time. Because you know what, the songs are now singing. It's almost like you're singing to the governing body. It's not like you're singing to a guy anyway. So that, I don't know, that was perfect to me.
The character she did on the bottom left with the mask and gloves on had me cracking up.
I know, right? And I think the
And the amount of effort that went into making all that must have took her days.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. If you are thinking about, you are a new YouTuber, not like, we can give you all the tips there is to be, to be a successful YouTuber. But I will tell you that it takes a lot of work, especially in, you're trying to make extra Jehovah's Witness centric videos. I think those are harder than making more general videos, because you're trying to make sure that you capture your audience. And a lot of extra Jehovah's Witness content has been done over and over again. I mean, you're not really talking about too many things that's new, but you just want to put your new spin on it, your new take on it. That to me could be a little bit extra. We do have another video that you picked. This is Emma's pick from Victoria here.
Good morning to everybody.
That's kind of round about the time when I found out who Victoria was, and I saw this video, and I'm not sure whether it was one before or after it, where she literally walks up the street and the cart packed up and took off. And then it got to the point where she'd pull up a car and they'd go before she even got there. And I was like, that's just amazing that she just still went and stood there and was giving out flyers to educate people on that main busy road. And I was just like, wow, she's a girl after my own heart.
Well, Emma, we know you about that life, because you plaster stuff on Kingdom Hearts, and they'll take it down though, but you'll do it. I have to get that kind of courage. When they come to my door, I will talk to them. If I see them on the street, it's on site, I will talk to them. But I haven't had a chance to walk up to them with the carts yet. I don't know. It's intimidating for me.
We just stood next to them, and last time I did it, they literally left within 15 minutes on the one cart, and we found out where they went to the other side of town, so we left it about half an hour. We went and followed and stood next to them again, and then they left within about 5 minutes that time. They just packed up and went.
How are they packing these carts up so fast and leaving?
I mean, I did two. Yeah, two. I can't count, so excuse the numbers, but I did 2 cart crushes, and basically I acted like I'm your standard issue Catholic girl who got disappointed and then came across Jehovah's Witnesses a few weeks back and did some research and had some questions. And well, I know I hate lying, but it works. Look, it works, because they then have a reason. Like if I go up to, yo, I'm in a apostate, what you gonna do about it? They're gonna shut down. I don't want them to know that I'm an apostate, because I want them to be, I want to trap them. And when they know you know the game because you were a JW, they will not play it. But when they think that you're uninformed, they will lie. And then when you hit them back with like, and what about the ARC? They're gonna be like, and first of all, it's very fun. Second of all, I want to educate them. I don't want them to go away. Like both of these card crashes were like 3 hours long. I had conversations with them for 3 hours, and it was super draining. I needed to come home and go like, after it was done with, but it was on site. I saw the card. I was like, let's do this. And one of these times, I was actually the first time I went shopping, and I just got like, how dare you? Like, people are going shopping here. You actually,
they tried to run me down at Target I had my Target basket. I was looking like, oh my gosh, y'all just relentless at Target in the parking lot.
Right. And basically I was like, okay, it's on site. I went in, I did my shopping because I was like, okay, I'm gonna get my food first, because y'all ain't worth missing out on my food. And then, I came out and they were still there, and I was like, okay, let's do this. And I was like so ready. I was like, yes, okay, let's do this. And I felt like, oh shit, I'm gonna be so made as an apostate, but I wasn't. And they were like, yeah, come to the Kingdom Hall. And then the second time I was coming back from work and I saw them on the corner, I was like, it's on site. And I was like, okay, let's do this. And then they were I don't want to say stupid, because they think they are doing the best for their families and themselves, but like they were stupid enough to actually tell me, come have a one-on-one meeting with our elder tomorrow, which I did. And I went in there, dressed as a proper little lady, the JW look, skirt below the knee and all that. I didn't want to offend them. And then I went to the elder after the meeting was done. Yes, I suffered through the meeting. You're welcome. Just kidding. But yeah. And I whipped out my JW Bible and the Shepherd of Flock of God. And I was like, yo, what's this about? And he was like, he lost it.
I like Linda says she likes to chase the carts away when she's been told to take your face. For example, see the seating arrangement, sitting there drinking their coffee while drinking gossiping as usual.
They don't do anything. Like I've done I call them cart appearances. I want to stop certain words like cart crashes, Kingdom Hall crashes, because to me it's not a crash.
Yeah.
It's an appearance. That's the same with aggressive activism. I don't like that term. I say assertive activism. Yeah. But the 2 times I've done cart appearances, the first time they stayed for about 3 hours, and the only people that came and talked to them were other Jehovah's Witnesses. People came and spoke to us and asked us why we were protesting them, but every time I walk past them in town, no one's talking to them.
Right.
I have pictures of them just chilling, or them on their phone.
Yeah.
All the time. When I was an elder, I was the service overseer, so I normally had to arrange the cart witnessing for my congregation, and I would make these schedules every week, and it was honestly just pioneers trying to log time, because no one ever had experiences of talking to anyone. I would go out there sometimes 6 o'clock in the morning, from 6 to maybe 9 for 3 hours, and no one would talk to us. It was a complete waste of time.
It's like it's a book stand. It's really, really, really archaic. It's just a book stand that they're standing next to. Like literally, you can they can't buy space in the stores to put their stuff. I mean, they just gonna buy a book stand and just a magazine stand and just stand next to it. So now,
It just goes to show how little people actually care, because like I
Right, but
said,
what's
like
crazy?
I was
What's
in
crazy
New
is
York City and like no one cares. Can you imagine being in New York City and no one caring?
it's too busy for you to be stopping. Number one, you got y'all like this much, because I was there a few times that I've been there. Y'all like this much space
Yep.
between people, and nobody's stopping and saying, "Hey, there's a book stand. You can't stop."
Mm.
Somebody get mad at you trying to stop. You got to keep walking.
right.
It's a lot. Y'all got a lot of people there.
Yeah.
Go ahead,
What's
Molly. And
crazy?
then we have somebody on the line that actually is going to talk about their video.
Right. So what's crazy to me is I've only seen people walk up to them twice. One of them, and I didn't see the guy actually walking up to them, but I see it was a homeless guy, and they gave him the truth about the Bible, like the little yellow book, and I was like, "Yo, are you really gonna like do this to a homeless man?" I was like, "Oh, if I didn't have to go to work, I would. It would be on site. I would." And then
All
the
right.
second time,
Wait, hang on, Molly. I just don't want to lose our guest, and then you can. Well, I'll circle back because you have a couple clips you want us to look at too. Okay,
yeah,
so we have STZ on the line. Where are you at?
hey,
In the night,
Hey.
in the sun.
Yeah, I'm at the park.
Oh,
woo,
really? Is this the same park that we're gonna show the video from?
That's the same park that Bella tried to escape from on the live, where she tried to
Oh
get
yeah.
her freedom.
Oh no, yeah. She was trying to get her freedom that day. Well,
Yeah,
now let me see if I can pull up your video. Uh, Here it is. Here. So STZ is STZ of XJ Cafe. And whenever we get this glass table Jeopardy going, you're the host. Whenever it comes, whenever it goes.
eventually
No rush.
it'll
No
be
rush.
worth the wait. It's worth the
We're not
wait.
we're not rushing you, STZ, but we want our Jeopardy. Um anyway, that's a side note. That's just for me. Also, um, not only just SJ Dub Cafe, I just want to plug that we are going to be on another Zoom podcast roundtable. I'm going to actually put the link below. James Montgomery is having us on for like a couples roundtable, so that should be cool. So if you like roundtable and you want to talk about couple goals in 2020, that's probably a good podcast to look at. But before we get into your video, can you tell us what made you? You have been trying to put out a YouTube video. I'm just gonna say this for a while, and I just because I have a little behind the scenes. What made you finally do it? I can't hear you. Are you on Bluetooth? We probably lost you. No. Okay, well come back out and come back in. Can you hear us? Hey, it's the troubles of live streaming. Molly,
yeah.
so you have a clip that you want to go for. Let me make sure I get the right one, actually.
Okay.
Is it this one?
Observed your confirmation bias and subconsciously applied your
Nope, it's not that one.
of a family supposed to be unconditional, unbreakable. Actually, I don't agree with the sentiment, so I'm just going to move on. No, the love of the family should not be unconditional and unbreakable. That is how you set up people to internalize abuse and decide that they deserve it. So I get the message they're saying about it's bullshit that Jehovah's Witnesses are breaking up family. That is true. However, I think that
All right. So what do you? Okay.
Yeah. So that's
Go ahead,
so
Molly.
that's Jimmy Snow and Telltale, which most XJWs, I guess, Telltale. And Jimmy Snow is a secular humanist activist, and actually, they were the major inspiration behind me starting to make my own YouTube videos, because I felt like they inspired me. Like, actually, yeah, we all have something to say, and like Spence said, we all have different experiences, so it's good to share, and it actually helps detangle, in myself, and I'm gonna we discussed this yesterday as we were cutting the clips with Spence. So I'm gonna say it that I really don't like how Jimmy did not read through the entire poem, and how he kind of seemed like he's dismissive about it, and that's mainly because he's an ex-Mormon, so he does not experience the shunning like JWs do. Obviously, his family kind of cut ties with him, but they still speak. But basically, he gets a cold shoulder, but ex-JWs rather, get treated like we don't exist, and that's obviously more damaging, more toxic, more harmful. But at the same time, I think I don't agree with how he says it and how he goes about it, but I agree with him that this idea that family is supposed to be unconditional and all that, it's very nice, it's very beautiful, but like he said, it makes people put up with abuse, like abuse that they shouldn't, because it's family, blood is thicker than water, and then it makes you ignore those people who are actually there for you, but they are not blood. So like friends and other loved ones who are not connected to you by blood. So I totally disagree with his tone in this, and I think he should have read the entire poem, go through it, and maybe, just maybe, leave more space for Telltale, though the second clip is Telltale and him going back and forth about the poem. So
okay, here it is.
The overall message isn't actually a positive one. That's just me. So whoever made the poem, I'm sure it's a beautiful poem.
I think that there are extremes in each direction, and there are people who want to break up families for any little thing, like for an organization's purposes, and then there are families that absolutely should not be together that are. And
all right, that's his rebuttal, and here's the last.
Served your confirmation bias and subconsciously applied your emotional filters and called it proof. I love this because I have had so many of those conversations where people say I research or scientifically blah blah blah, and I'll just start to explain to them like, hey, here's in college how you do research. Here's in college how you evaluate a scientific source, and you can tell they've never done anything close to that because they very clearly get bored of listening to you talk about it.
Yeah.
They quickly get bored of wow, that's
yeah. So I picked that first one about family because I come from a very toxic and abusive family who, used me to smuggle shit in the country and all that. So I know it's better for me to disassociate, and I know that those people who actually give a fuck about me are in my life and actively checking in with me regularly, and actually know that I'm an asexual. They actually know that they actually know me. They know what's my favorite color, my favorite movie, my favorite food. My family, like my blood family, they don't. And I guess that's where Jimmy in this clip comes from, because he also comes from an abusive family where there were 20 kids, and obviously he was brainwashed in a cult. So yeah, and then the third clip I picked because I am a sucker for the scientific method, and I wanted to have that little nugget here because I think more than ever it became timely to remind people how to argue scientifically and in good detail.
Well, thank you so much, Polly, for sharing those clips with us. If it's not clear, the person that that's actually the ex-Jehovah's Witness is not Mr. Atheist. It's Telltale. And he actually has a huge following. He has about 200,000 subscribers. Not because he's his channel is actually what most of us on our panel have actually said before. He's involved past the ex-Jehovah's Witness community in that he talks about his secularism and other things. So make sure you check his channel out. We'll go ahead and list it before I lose STZ. It looks like he's fighting off bugs. What's going on there?
Let's fight off frisbees.
Who are you fighting off?
Oh, frisbees. What's it called? The frisbee golf game.
Oh, oh,
It's a name for it. I just can't think of it right now.
oh, okay, okay. Because it looked like you was like fighting something. All right, well,
Oh no.
before we lose you, let's go ahead and play your clip before the sound because I don't want nothing else happening. Right?
Yeah.
Here we go.
I could stay in the organization and continue to demand that my children be raised that way, or I could see what it was that my wife had been trying to explain to me, see if there was any truth, any validity to the matter. Again, long story short, I'm no longer a witness. I'm not going to say it was a...
All right, so tell us a little bit of why you decided to finally put out a video and why that type of video.
Well, I still have a lot of family that's active as witnesses. So initially, after leaving the witnesses, I didn't want to come out and do videos and have anything out that could hurt them or some of them. And long story short, 2 years later, I eventually wanted to start doing something a little bit more transparent. And that's where you see, not just my voice, but also, sharing a ride. Because oftentimes when I get out on bike rides, I do a lot of reflecting. I do a lot of thinking. So I felt like that would be a good time just to share some of those thoughts. And, some of the scenery is nice. So I figured I'd share that too. I have a couple more videos to upload. The next one will be me basically going into detail about my relationship with my parents ever since, leaving the witnesses, and naturally how that affects, their relationship with you, relationship with the kids, all that good stuff.
So I just want to say, of course, I think it's cool because I think it's cool. But I do think it's cool that you put yourself out there because I know personally how much that has been a journey for you. And
it was a real hurdle, and it probably was a bigger hurdle for me than it should have been. I think I allowed myself not to experience freedom after leaving the witnesses out of fear of hurting my family or being labeled an apostate or called a traitor or anything. It was a bunch of fear that was keeping me in a box. So it took a while, unfortunately, to shed some of that, but I mean, I'm finally getting around to it. So you can expect to see a little bit more and more transparency in my future videos.
okay, well, thank you so much for coming.
Thanks for having me.
I know that I don't know what this kung fu you doing out there. You said it's frisbees that you're fighting on.
It was frisbees at first, but now it's bees.
Oh God, I can't with bees, so I'll let you go because
Pretty soon it's gonna be murder hornets.
Yeah, please come back before the murder hornets get you. So
Right.
he's out. STZ is out on his quarantine walk. For what I forgo I didn't do mine today. I'll probably do mine a little later. But our shutdown will be ended soon, so you'll be able to get a lot more places because you started out wanting to do more places, but Corona happened, right?
Yep. Corona. I mean, I had everything set up for the summer. I had bought camera. I bought a lot of stuff, and I haven't really got the chance to use it yet, but it's coming.
I know. Hopefully, you will get that return on that investment.
Exactly.
I say investment. Okay,
It
all
wasn't
right.
just me buying a bunch of toys. It was an investment.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was you buying a bunch of toys, but okay. All right, STZ, thank you for coming on.
Thanks for having me, guys. Take care.
Bye.
All right, so yeah, of course I picked him as the new XJW YouTuber because he's my husband. But there's a lot of other good YouTube videos out there. All you have to do is what I do when I want to see new Jehovahs Witness content. I just change the filters like for a week, and usually all of the you'll get the main hits. Usually XJW Analyzer's channel come up, and then there's Cedar's channel, and then a few other big channels, and then you'll start seeing the other little channels kind of trickle in. I can't name them all offhand, but I usually feature them on XJW Cafe in my group or on my page. I talk about new YouTubers all the time, so if you want to check those out or check them out for yourself. And we have one other clip that I almost forgot, and it's Emma's clip. It's from her pick, one of her picks, and I'm just gonna play it. Emma, you can tell us about what we saw.
Think we'll ever see it?
I don't know.
All right, we've got a family for the old timers, 9 of them.
Holy cow.
I know it. Emma, Rob, Candy, Chris, Dom, Jay, Emil, Tim, and Liz. Awesome.
Since you're on the old timers list, how has your freedom been going? Let
Yeah.
everybody know in the comment section.
So I don't watch many XJW YouTubers at all, but I've watched Kim and Mikey for a long time. I can't even remember what the first one I watched was. But these Nail in the Coffins really interested me because like they were naming all the people that have left the organisation, and then you'd send in your Kingdom Halls that have closed down, so I sent mine in, and they named all the congregations that have just dissolved. And there's another website now they've got together with somebody else to do that separately. But with this, like I sent in my names. There was actually 2 missed off, being my sister and my uncle. But like it was like a really cool to see them like just read the list of names out of my family that have just left the organisation. And me and my brother and sister were 3rd generation, and we've just broke that chain, which actually feels amazing.
That is amazing. I have to say, my sister left before me, and I shunned her. I was like, "You apostate," because she starts saying stuff like, you know, the end. They always talk about the end is coming. It's never gonna come. Just a bunch of stuff that I thought was, "Oh, this is really apostate," when she's talking. And now we're so close. You know, she always says she knew that I would leave.
Same with my sister. Like we didn't speak for 14 years.
Wow.
And I never gave up hope, and then I found out she left, and fast it was like we'd never been apart all those years again.
That's amazing. Hey, so somebody said that, Matt, you remind them of Will I Am for the Black Eyed Peas.
Wow,
You better take that compliment.
I'll take his money.
That's what I mean, that money. Yeah, so let's go to the comments for the next few last portion of our stream.
Can I just add in as well, Kim and Mikey? I didn't get a video of it, but I sent in a big list of names from my group.
Oh yeah.
Who had left, an old timer, so they read all that out as well. So that was really great for them to have like their names put out on the video. And I think they've done 6 years of it now, because one of the videos they've got like them all on the shelf behind them, all the Nail in the Coffin. So I think they're on like year 6 now. So it's been a good run, and it's cool.
People look forward to it.
Yeah.
I didn't get my name in.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't know what it was at first. I didn't know what I thought they were doing. It just never caught on, but I understand now. Let's see here. Linda says that some are using their children to stand in the carts. That is wild. We're seeing a lot of pictures in the groups of kids standing in the carts. But I imagine that if I was in the truth, then my kids would probably be standing in their carts. Without me even thinking about it, probably.
It's a ploy though. I remember like some people saying, giving a track to a 3-year-old, you go and give it to them at the door, because I'm not going to be able to resist that. But you don't realise at the time they're using their children as a ploy.
Because you're like, oh, look at the kids, and before you know
who's going to say no to a child?
Right. Wait a minute. Diary of an awkward XJ Mom says she remembers being about 6 or 7 and somebody giving me $5 but not taking the magazines. My arms was tired as hell holding them dusty magazines.
I mean, it's crazy because just like last summer, someone had the misfortune of knocking on Jimmy Snow's door with their JW kid. And he was like, okay, so how do I rip a new one to this parent for using their kid to trick me without hurting the kid? Because he was like, I feel for that kid. I was that kid. And he made like a short, like 10-ish minutes video about how he was used to do that, and how he felt for the kid and how he was like, I can't get mad. There's a kid involved, and like, especially because he is like quite confrontational, and I think that's why Telltale and him are like best friends, and I love that. I just love that. But it's funny because Telltale is far less confrontational, but Jimmy is, and so it's like, and Telltale actually called him on it in one of his videos, like, yeah, I love Jimmy, but he can be like hella confrontational when you push his buttons, and that might not always be good.
You're on mute, Spence, I think. I can't hear you. Is it just me?
Nope, I can't hear Spencer either.
I can't hear her either. Shit.
But it's horrible, like when you're a kid, I used to know
Can you
where
hear me
people...
now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had it on mute.
I used to know where people were in my neighbourhood, and I'd be like, I'm not knocking on that door, and they'd be like, yes, you've got to do it. And then I'd go to school and I'd just be like, so embarrassed. It's like, why make kids do that? It's embarrassing.
I know Andrew is saying that in his 30 years of experience that JWs didn't really like going out, and that they was too embarrassed to say they were Jehovah's Witnesses. I know I was.
Yeah, that's the truth. I had no interest in going out in service, and I was a regular pioneer for 7 years. I don't know how I made it through that, but I had no interest in going out in service. I used to fake knock on doors, fake ring doorbells. Yeah, exactly. I had no, like, I used to hate it when I walked up to a house and the door was open, because it was like, oh, now I have to talk to somebody. But I mean, most people, they don't like it because it's forced on you and you have to do it so often.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Emma. Thank you, Amy. She said Emma is a great one to watch when you get discouraged and wonder if a difference is being made. I really appreciate that. Thank you.
Oh, okay. I'm trying to get. Oh, is this one
That's
here?
a lovely comment. Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes it feel worthwhile when you do what you do. When people say that kind of thing.
Right.
Okay, well, what is this about Spencer, Tyler, Chris? Don't even start. Okay, I don't have 5 billion groups. Okay, let's clear this up on the stream right now. I have maybe 4 groups, so I'm gonna run them off. There's the women's group, there's the Jehovah's Witness group, there's the ex-Jehovah's Witness group, and the group, and you're just happen to be in all of them. So maybe you stop joining all the groups and complaining.
We have the Glass Table group and the Donkey Religion group.
Maybe I do have a lot of groups.
Is mainly me. So, but can I be real? Am I the only one who was not ashamed to be a JW? I was preaching to anyone and anything, y'all. I was like, so
I hated it.
I wasn't ashamed of it. I was kind of a nerd, but when I got older, it started to bother me a little bit. I mean, when I was younger,
and now I look back at myself, and I'm like, oh my god, what an idiot.
Thank you, Linda. She says she loves the apostate. She's proud to have you as friends. Oh, that's nice. And people love Kim and Mikey.
Yeah,
I love
they're great.
Chris said don't agree with all their views, but he likes listening to them. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Matt.
Some people complain about Kim and Mikey a lot. They feel like they're, aggressive and they go on rants and stuff. But I love it. Like, listen, show that emotion. Some people, I think in a lot of ways, they keep that JW mentality and they feel like we have to be buttoned up when we present videos. Nah, like, let it out. I mean, you were part of a doomsday cult for years. Yeah, of course you're mad.
Of course.
I love it when Kim gets angry and I'm like, yes, Kim, you tell him, you go, Kim. Because she's so mild, and then you can tell when she gets riled up, and I'm like, yes.
Yeah.
Angela says we're her favorite YouTubers. Before I want to wrap up our stream because we have about a half hour left and we haven't actually got to our side topic. I've been trying to sneak it in here. So let me try to sneak it in here now. And we'll go around the glass table and we'll talk about clout chasing activism. Did I actually make a banner for that? I think I did. Or not. Whatever. Anyway, we're going to talk about clout chasing activism. People probably say, so let's define clout for a lot of us who don't know what clout is, because not a lot of us know what these hip words that these young people use. Clout. Matt, can you get us started off? What do you think clout is, and is it bad all the time? Bad?
So when we're talking about clout, what you're talking about is getting accolades or getting attention. Really, more than anything, it comes down to attention and accolades. Now, when you're talking about clout, generally it's used in a negative sense. People say, someone is clout chasing. They're looking for clout because they want that attention. They seek, their ego is getting bigger. So generally it's used in a negative sense. I don't always think it has to be negative, but for the most part, when we say clout chasing, if you're chasing attention, if you're seeking attention, then very often it is a bad thing. Of course, it depends. There are certain circumstances where it is a good thing. But if you're talking about chasing this, then generally it's a negative thing.
Yeah. So to piggyback on what you're saying, not all clout is bad, because people want clout or a certain awareness to what they're doing. You're not just doing it. A lot of us, for instance, for Black Lives Matters or other causes besides extra Jehovah's Witness causes, you want clout, so to speak, or awareness to be brought for your issue. But chasing it, like you said, could be a totally different thing. What do you think, Emma?
See, my definition of clout comes down to what your intentions and purposes are. Why you're doing it. Are you fighting for the cause because you want a name for yourself, or are you fighting for the cause because it's what you believe in and you don't care if you stand alone and nobody gets to know what you're doing? To me, that's the difference. It's like, I've been an activist for 12 years. I didn't realise going back that far that I was an activist, because I didn't know what an activist was, but I've just spoke out for 12 years. But at the end of the day, to me, I don't want to be up there. There's certain people that, you've got to be well known. That's not what I want. I want to do what I do, help people, and it doesn't bother me if I'm known or not. It's not about people knowing your name, it's about what you do. So to me, that's not chasing clout. Is do it because it's in your heart, not because of the name and the reputation that you want to achieve.
Yeah. What about you, Molly?
Well, yeah. Basically, that's it. What Matt said. It's like about, are you in for the money, the attention, the pat on the back, or are you in because you actually believe in what you're doing? And I am in activism because I want to help people. Now, do we need a certain spot in the spotlight to call attention to what we're doing and actually achieve something? Yes. Like, duh. If you want to achieve something, sometimes or most times you will need either, moral support, technical support, monetary support. You all know how it goes. We all adults up here. Sometimes you will just need support. Sometimes you will not be able to do it alone. And that's why it's good to have a certain attention on you. Like, real talk, we get happy when we get more views on a video, because that means people listen and hopefully take away something positive about it, because that's my goal. And especially because I'm a queer non-binary person, especially because my queerness in all of this aspect is like underrepresented and misrepresented in not just popular media, but in general. So I'm like, yeah, I want to express myself, and I want people to know and hear the experience that that I went through, or that we went through. And especially because I'm also an artist, and I want to help especially young women and young queer people with my art, because in all honesty, when I write my creative writing, I write for them. All my characters have either, and it's not deliberate, it just turned out that way. When I thought up the characters, they all had something that I think is misrepresented, either, in their gender identity, mental health, yada yada yada. You know how it goes. And I wanted to be successful, not because I want the money or the fame. If I could be like, here's the book, take it, and let people read it, let people see it, and take away the message from it without knowing that it's me. But that's, these days it's kind of impossible.
So yeah, clout chasing activism. When I think about it, thank you, Molly. I think about certain activists who blatantly say that they want to be famous, or certain activists who say that they blatantly want the spotlight. And I guess that's all good, fine and good if that's the type of activism that you're looking for. But I don't think that's activism. That's just you having a YouTube channel and you wanting to be famous off of your YouTube channel by making extra Jehovah's Witness content. Doesn't make you an activist.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and one of the big problem with that is seeking fame from it. What it does, it takes away from the important overarching goal, right, that you're supposed to be seeking. It often inflates the ego, and then when you throw money into it, then it can change incentives, because you'll have people who come into activism very radical. And then if they start making money from their activism, they start to pull back a little bit. And so that's where the clout chasing gets really bad, because if you truly believe in what you're doing, if you're an honest-hearted activist, it shouldn't matter whether you get paid or not. It shouldn't matter whether you are famous or not. Like Emma said, the notoriety isn't really what's important. What's important is going after your goal. And speaking specifically to the XJW community, there are some people who, obviously really like that people know them. And it's kind of changed the way that they go about their activism. They you'll notice that they are against aggressive activism. They're against certain kinds of activism because not only does it have other people taking up the space that they want, but it also goes against the goal that they're supposed to be seeking, but they diverted from that goal because now they're getting more attention, and for some people they're getting money from it.
Can I give an example? Like when I went to the London protest in 2018, I'd had my group for 10 years then, and people come up to me going, "Nice to meet you, who are you?" And I'd be like, "Emma." I'd be like, "Emma, yeah, I'm the one who runs the group." And they'd be like, "Oh my God, you're Emma." And I loved the fact that people didn't know who I was. And I was like, yes, because I consider myself, I'm admin of that group, but I just happen to be a member who started the group. Just because I'm admin and I'm an activist, I'm not above everybody else. And I liked the fact that so many people there hadn't got a clue who I was. And I thought that was cool.
And because it should be about the people that you're trying to help and not you helping yourself. I mean, again, if you want to get a YouTube channel and just give talks on YouTube and get fans, you're just a YouTuber. You're an extra Jehovah's Witness YouTuber that makes videos for extra Jehovah's Witness content. I've had some extra Jehovah's Witness, not just me. I mean, because I'm an open book. If you feel like my content is out of line, or if you feel like I'm saying something out of line, so I'm not putting myself on a pedestal here. But I know that there are some extra Jehovah's Witness YouTuber, and you talk about problematic content of theirs, and their attitude is just like, "Oh, I'm not taking it down. I got X amount of views," or "I'm not taking it. Why should I take this down?" And you think like, "Okay, well, this is problematic," especially if you are in the extra Jehovah's Witness world and your content contains things that we're supposed to be fighting against. I'll just put it that way. So and then like you said too, Matt, some people when they start making money or they start to get a little notoriety, but that's not just even in the extra Jehovah's Witness world. I find that even in just YouTube. That's just the nature of YouTube when they start getting sponsored or starting getting promoted, the content changes. They're not as vocal as they started out being, or the content changes a little bit, or you get a few bad comments and all of a sudden they feel like they can't speak on that issue. But yeah, go ahead, Molly.
And can I also say something to that yeah, and actually I like that most of the I'm gonna be real, like Emma said, I don't really watch XJW centered content because I am out of the organization. I am through with my deprogramming. I know they are lying through their ass. I and I already know most of that information that those don't misunderstand me. I very much appreciate those channels before anyone comes for my throat. But my life is at that stage when I want to educate myself further on. I want to educate myself in human rights, queer rights, women's rights, people of colors issues, history. I want to be more educated and broaden my horizons. And that's why I follow just general either human rights activists or secular activists. And I like the fact that they speak on how YouTube manipulates their how their channel goes if they don't like what they are saying. And Mr. Atheist Jimmy Snow has a video on that. But anyway, I'm not gonna go into that because we're approaching the
Yeah,
end.
we have a comment for Emma that I want to get to. Some comments here. I'm digging them out. Somebody says, Emma, spot on. It's easy to identify the advocates that want justice and the ones that want fame.
Right.
Ain't that the truth? And then let's see here, Emma. Someone is asking you a question here. How long have you all been active? Oh, is this for Emma? Oh, that's some years, Emma. 12. 12. She's acknowledging your 12 years.
Yes,
And,
thank you.
for
It
us,
is a long time.
for me, activism. I have been out since 2014, but I haven't, and I've written a blog. How can I say this? I do things that people say are activism, but I don't think they're activism, such as running the Jehovah's Witness group. I do that because I love talking to Jehovah's Witnesses. I still have family that are Jehovah's Witnesses. Some of their responses, Emma will tell you she's in I frequents a lot of the groups that I'm in. Interesting responses. And it also helps you to check their temperature. If you haven't been around Jehovah's Witnesses a long time, you might find yourself rusty in these groups talking about things that they're not really simply talking about. Like, for instance, just because you see it on the site doesn't mean that's actually what's going on in the hall. We know that there's a different air, or they talk about different things in the hall than actually comes on the platform. So actually, I do believe talking to them kind of keeps you sharp of what's going on in the organization, because they'll give you the other side, the side that the public don't get, or
Right.
and then I think me writing my blog was just me trying to get feelings out. I'm glad that it healed other people in the process, but again, I didn't consider it activism. I considered it a blog. But I guess for me, if I had to say, my activism started when I decided that it was starting. For me, it's only been probably maybe 6 or 7 months, like when I really relaunched the XJW Cafe, even though I had been doing things other than up till that. I say that because it was the first time that I made a concerted effort to try to reach out to people, and it wasn't just me. Because before, I think my blog was kind of me. It's like, oh, look what I'm going through. My mom's not talking to me. I thought that was it's just me using it as an outlet. This is something that me actually crafting and taking, advice from other people, shouldering my work with other activists. So yes, I consider it activism now, but I'm kind of like Emma. It's just something. It's a labor of love, really. It's just something that you do because
and
you
it's
want
hard work. Like, friends, like I've been in those Jehovah's Witnesses groups, so I take my hat off to you, because they are some of the nastiest, vilest people to work with, and that would shock you unless you've been in the groups. I have to take breaks from Jehovah's Witness groups because I can't bite my tongue. I have to leave for a while, then go back because they are so vile.
But then I take my hat off to you for the extra Jehovah's Witness group that you handle, because that comes with a whole nother set of problems.
Always drama.
That's a whole nother drama that I don't have, you know.
Yeah.
So I mean, and I totally get that. I mean, so I mean, I guess we talked about this in our last stream as we close out with some final thoughts from the glass table. I guess from my end, we talked about different forms of activism. We actually did a nod to activism and honor activism, not only in our episodes that we are blatantly say that we're honoring activism, but just really recently honoring the activism. And I don't want to get everybody excited here, of those in the Black Lives Matter movement. In our last show, we talked about what's going on here. Matt was on our show. STZ was on our show, not fighting bugs, but actually on the show.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, we came around together about an issue that is dividing the nation, dividing the world, it seems like. Everybody has their thoughts. So we're going to encourage you, if you have thoughts, to actually watch our stream and comment there. But I just wanted to go around the glass table for final thoughts about favorite YouTubers, about anything, really, clout chasing. As a matter of fact, Emma, could you show the cup that you made? I don't know if you have it handy. I should have asked you before.
I don't have that one handy because I've posted one to you and Molly. So
oh, so I have it. Okay, so when I get it, you guys, I'll show you.
It's in the post and like you.
So, but you can get a cup that actually says, what did it say?
One says "fuck clout chasing activism," and the other one's got like a beware sign with a skull saying "clout chasing activism" on it.
Yeah.
But I am going to do a hashtag "say no to clout chasing activism," so I'm going to expand on. But I'm not going to tell you because you'll want one.
And then wait, we keep buying her supply. Every time she makes, that's why you guys, if you're ordering stuff and y'all can't get it and it's on back orders, because we keep ordering it. But yeah, so if you're not so adventurous and don't want to say fuck clout chasing activists, we have a nice one too. It just says beware of. So make sure you check out that below. And Matt, did you have any final thoughts?
Yeah, I just wanted to, since we were talking about activists, I wanted to plug a couple activists that I really like on YouTube. First of all, I really love Roz NYC, one of the homies on social media. She does a great job, and she does videos in English and Spanish. So that's, I mean, there's a huge market for XJW videos in Spanish that's needed. So that's a really awesome thing. And she's also Dominican, as I am. So much love there. De lo mío personal. I also really like, and she commented on our live stream right now, a Diary of an Awkward XJ Mom. She does awesome videos. Really appreciate her. Of course, I really like Chessa. I've been watching her videos. She does really good. And another guy that I really like, Germ, his channel is called Mentally Diseased. Another homie from social media. Really great job on his videos. Really good editing too. And but I really love those pages. A lot of different perspectives, a lot of different ideas. Oh, and you know what? Since I'm here, I might as well plug my meme page on Instagram.
Yay!
The Regular Pioneer on Instagram. That's honestly, it's become my favorite kind of activism, making memes, because memes is like a language for young people. They speak meme in a way that 10 years ago we never would have thought people interacted on the internet. And it's fun. I love it. It's it's comedy, and if you've been a Jehovah's Witness, you can relate to the videos that I make. I mean, the videos and the memes that I make. So,
okay, so I mean, I hate to be like Kanye here and say like you got good memes or whatever, but Emma is the queen of memes. You got to look at her.
Yes.
Memes work though. I mean, even just bringing up again the Black Lives Matter, a lot of people don't understand, but there's some excellent memes out there right now that just put the
Right.
nail on the spot, and you look at the meme and you read it and you're like, if you don't get it now, you'll never get it. Some memes can just get through in a few seconds of what a few hours conversation can't get through.
Oh my gosh, she would have memes that were extra Jehovah Witness centric about child abuse. She just had to put it up in the group, and the witnesses would go bananas. Like they're not gonna read a long post, but they'll read a meme. If the meme look like they making fun of them, they all over it. They all over it. So yeah,
you can't unsee a meme though. It's there in front of your face. You can ignore a long comment, but if you see a meme pop up, you've seen it. So I do like doing a lot of JW memes. Yeah.
Yeah. And a lot of the ones that you've done, I didn't know you had done, and I would circulate them, like the one that you did. You can't be in paradise. If you're a
can't live
pedophile.
together on Earth if you support paedophiles, and I did the actual cover of the Paradise book and just changed the word in it so it looked exactly. So
Oh, that's yours. I didn't know that was Emma.
See? Yeah,
I know when I see people using that, so I'm like.
Well, you guys, I know you got your comments are rolling in. Let's see. This says, "Thank you, Matt. You rock." Literally, yay! Yes,
Thank
it does
you.
rock.
Thank you.
We got to have you back. It says, Linda says, "I've had to block several nasty peeps in the extra Jehovah's Witness pages. Felt great doing it. I don't tolerate their vile behavior." Hey, I mean, people are people, whether they're in the extra Jehovah's Witness community or not. They get the block button, like everybody else.
That's right.
It says, "Nice, you're reaching out, Spencer Tyler. Somebody need help going. I like Ema Mellor way of dealing with the extra weight. I can't speak. With the XJW community. I see what you're saying, guys. All right.
Yeah, I mean, I like this catchphrase that Jimmy Snow has. It ain't activism if you can do it shitting on the toilet. He says that. He's like, it ain't activism if you can do it in the bathroom. And it's true. I want to go out there. I want to go and talk to JWs, like, face to face.
I don't agree with that.
Yeah, I don't think I agree with that.
I sit on Facebook on the toilet quite often doing activism. I'm not going to tell you which post, but I do.
I mean, I don't agree with him on 100%, but to a degree I have to, because he actually worked with the Amnesty International. He actually worked with like other activists, went out and organized the entire protest and all that. And that's what I want to do. I want to do physical and online activism. Sometimes even I do it from the toilet. Just saying. So I know.
If his point is get out there and do it, then yes. It's like I posted today. So many people have been going on about why was there not protest for this? Why was there not protest about that? Well, go out there and do it then. Black Lives Matter got off their fucking asses and they went out and protested and they did this. If you feel so strongly about this person wasn't protested for, then where was you? Why wasn't you doing it? Then get up and do it.
And we're going to be able to do a lot more since now that Corona is not holding us back from a lot of the activism that we're wanting to do. I wanted to plug our. I'm sorry, Molly. Go ahead.
I'm just sorry that the Kingdom halls are still closed. I wanna do it. I wanna get off my ass and do it. I want to take my little pamphlets, take my little apostatized Bible, and go.
I wanted to plug really quick before we go. We have a let me see if I can bring it up here. We are plugging our Pride celebration. As it says, everyone's invited, allies included. So we wanted to. That's on June the 28th.
Yeah,
Emma.
Yeah,
June the 28th. So, and before we go, I'm going to actually close us out with you guys seeing our new outro.
Can I just say as well?
Yes, go ahead.
Everybody else eager to get out there and do activism.
Yes.
If you want flyers and posters ready, if you go into my group XJW, I think it's Ex Jehovah's Witness Activists, look at my pictures. Look at in the albums, in the photo albums. If you want any posters, literally printing posting to you physically in the post, or if you want me to send you the actual JPEG files, email, contact me. You know, if you're eager to get that out there and do activism when this is all over, then I'm willing to send you whatever you want to make that happen. Because I've sent like flyers to Spencer, I've sent Hungarian flyers to Molly, you know, so I'm willing.
So grateful for that.
I've sent them to so many different countries, it's great. So
and I have one hanging from my doorknob right now. Because, well, until we went live, the weather was nice. And then when we went live, it started with a hailstorm. So, anyway.
Yes, we will send out a Pride reminder. It's a big show for us. We've actually been working on it for weeks already, like a couple weeks already.
I'll keep reminding you.
Yeah, please believe we have flyers, we have invitations, we got all of the good stuff to go along with trying to have a good time and have a celebration, y'all. So I hope y'all enjoy our new outro or intro that we're gonna be using for the next month. Thank you again, Matt, for coming. And Molly and Emma, we're always here. So yeah, thank y'all for being here.
Thank you, everybody.
Bye. We're always here. So see you later.